Hi, my name's Jack Money. I'm a business writer with the Oklahoman. Joining me this morning is Donna Miller. She's a founder of a new organization, and new may be not exactly the right word, but an organization called Purse Power. And she's going to talk to us a little bit this morning about that organization. And she's also going to talk to us about a Women in Leadership Conference that's happening April 13th at the Cox Convention Center in downtown Oklahoma City. Good morning, Donna.
Morning.
So tell us a little bit about Purse Power and what it's all about.
Okay. Purse Power is really about enabling women to support each other by using their purchasing power.
And how much purchasing power do women make up in the world in which we live?
Okay, they actually make or control $7 trillion a year in the United States and $20 trillion worldwide.
That's a lot of money. Is that an annual number?
Yes.
So every year, that's how much money they're controlling going into both our nations and global economies.
It is. We control something between 73 and 85% of purchasing decisions.
And so what would you like women to do with this power that they have?
What I'd like them to do is I'd like them to support the companies that support them. So if a company has more than 20% women on their board, I would love for women to choose to do business with those companies. Let's send the revenue their way. Let's reward them for supporting women. In addition, I would love for women to buy from other women-owned businesses. And Purse Power is a way to be aware of who those companies are and how to buy from them and how to reward them.
And basically your motivational goals behind this organization are first, try to break down those barriers that had traditionally made it difficult for women to get into leadership roles in corporate America, and second, to support organizations that help women who have been victimized through some form of violence.
Exactly. So women have all the power we need to drive change. We've been trying to drive change for 40 years. I'm a former human resources executive, and there have been diversity initiatives forever. And even though we represent 45% or so of the workforce, we control 50% of the private wealth, 51% of the stock, we make or influence 67% of the investment decisions, we make up less than 20% of the board members, and less than 6% of corporate CEOs. And for me, when you look at the purchasing power of women, and you look at their representation in senior leadership, it just doesn't compute for me.
Can you tell us a little bit about the April 13th event at the Cox Convention Center, the Women in Leaderships Conference?
Yes. So this is our 8th annual conference. We've been doing this for 8 years. We're expecting between 300 and 350 women at the Cox Convention Center. The theme of the conference is game changers. And some of the people on the agenda, Martha Berger, everybody knows Martha. She's going to be the MC for the event. We've got Marianne Cooper, who is a researcher on Lean In. We've got Charmaine McClary. Charmaine is an executive coach who's going to talk about executive presence. And as an executive coach myself, that's one of the top topics people are interested in, is how do I look more like an executive. Deborah Shames is going to talk to us about telling compelling stories. Barbara Crandall, Dr. Barbara Crandall, most people know her, is going to be talking about mindful decision making. Then we've got Jen Perry, the CEO of the YWCA, talking about her journey. We have Pamela Meyer talking about lie spotting, which is a really interesting topic. And then we've got Sandra Quince, who's a diversity executive with the Bank of America, who's going to moderate a panel. And our panelists include Dr. Frida Deskin. She's the CEO of the Aztec Charter Schools. Emily Natch Kitch is an attorney. Robin Elliott, of course, is a cabinet secretary for the Chickasaw Nation. And Jenny Love Meyer, who's a VP of Communications at Love's.
Okay. And this starts on April 13th at 7:30 a.m.
Right.
And it's going to go until about 5.
5 p.m., yeah.
Okay. I guess the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is, you want to come across, you don't want to come across in a way where you're not being confrontational in this mission, right?
No, not at all. So what I really want to do is, if there's a company out there and they've got men that really do support women, I want revenue coming their way. I'm a mother of triplets. They're 17. I've got 2 boys and a girl. I just want equal access for both my sets of children.
And what is it you said your son calls you?
My son calls me an equalist. I'm an
Okay.
equalist. And I love men. I love working with men. My husband and I have been together for 40 years. It's not anti-male in any way. I'm just trying to get women, pardon me, to use the power that they already have to help women to achieve their goals.
Okay. Well, Donna, I really appreciate you taking the time to visit with me about your organization and the event on April the 13th.
My pleasure.
If you'd like to read more about Purse Power and what Donna Miller is doing to get that organization up and running, then be sure and read the April 13th edition of the Oklahoman and its business page. Thanks.